Gold has smashed through all-time highs. Silver's up over 60% year to date. And if you're an Aussie and missed the run, I've got good news and I've got bad news. The bad news is that the easy money in precious metals has probably been made for now. The good news is that this is just phase one of a three-phase commodity rotation that's already underway. And phases 2 and 3 is where the real money gets made. Because gold isn't the story here. Gold is a signal, a warning that we're seeing the biggest macro shift since the 1970s, a fundamental rotation out of paper assets into hard, tangible commodities. So today I'm going to show you exactly which phase we're in right now, what's coming next, and how to position yourself as an Aussie to take advantage of this massive shift. Because if you understand this rotation, you won't be chasing gold at all-time highs. You'll be buying where the smart money is rotating into next. Let's get into it. Part 1, the macro shift. So gold and silver have run, but gold's move isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning. It's telling us something much bigger is happening in the global economy. And that's a fundamental shift out of pure US investment exposure and into hard assets, commodities, and emerging market growth. Still skeptical? Consider this. Even after recent gains, broad commodities are still more than 50% below their 2008 peak adjusted for inflation. The CRB index, for instance, hit around 473 back then, around 700 in today's dollars, but now sits near 300. Meanwhile, the S&P 500 has surged nearly threefold in real terms since its 2007 peak. That's a massive gap, and gaps like this don't last forever. So before we talk about what to buy, we need to understand why this is happening. Because if you don't understand the why, you won't have the conviction to hold through the volatility that's coming. For decades, we've been in a world where paper assets ruled. Stocks, bonds, currencies, all backed by the promise of governments and central banks. But years of aggressive money printing, growing sovereign debts, and negative real interest rates have sown fear that major currencies will lose value. And when people lose faith in paper money, they move into hard assets with intrinsic value, things that can't be printed. Central banks purchased a record 1,082 tonnes of gold in 2022, the highest yearly total since 1967. Then another 1,000 tonnes again in both 2023 and 2024. China, Russia, Turkey are all loading up on gold as a neutral reserve asset alternative to the US dollar. This is de-dollarization in action, and the same forces that drove gold higher, currency debasement fears, geopolitical tensions, inflation. These same forces are now starting to benefit other commodities too. We've already seen it start. Copper, uranium, critical metal, they've all begun moving. And this makes sense when you think about it. If you're worried about currency debasement, you don't just buy gold. You buy real assets across the board. Energy, industrial metals, agricultural commodities, anything that's tangible and can't be inflated away. Now, some of you might be asking, well, where's the proof? Fair question. So let me show you what's already happened. Wire, the copper miners ETF. We covered that as a key idea in our newsletter. Link below. It moved over 30% in just a few months since we listed it as a key idea in August 2025. Everyone's focused on gold and precious metals, but the same drivers for that move are driving other commodities and energy ETFs. It's all connected. But it's not happening all at once. There's a specific sequence to this rotation. And if you know where we are in that sequence, you can position yourself ahead of the next wave. Part 2, the three-phase rotation. So there's a pattern to how money flows through commodities during these macro shifts. Phase 1, we've got precious metals. That's where we've been. Gold, silver, platinum. These move first because they're the traditional safe havens. Phase 2, we've got industrial and energy transition metals. This is where we are now. Copper, uranium, critical metals, rare earths. These benefit from both the macro shift and the physical demand from electrification and clean energy. Phase 3, broad commodities and energy. This is what's coming next. Soft commodities like agriculture, global energy, and eventually oil. Now let me break down each phase so you can see where the opportunities are. Phase 1 was the precious metals. We've seen that play out beautifully. Gold's up significantly, silver's up over 60%, platinum's moved, palladium. This phase is all about fear and protection. When people lose faith in currencies, they buy gold first. It's been money for 5,000 years. But precious metals don't just move because of fear, they move because of supply and demand too. Central banks are buying, retail investors are buying, and supply is constrained. You can't just print more gold. So phase 1, precious metals, that's largely played out now. Not saying they can't go higher, but the easy money's been made. Phase 2 is where we are right now, and this is where it gets really interesting. The world is electrifying. Electric vehicles, renewable energy, power grids, data centers for AI, all of these require massive amounts of copper, nickel, lithium, rare earths, and uranium. The International Energy Agency projects that by 2035, copper demand will far outstrip supply at current investment levels. We're talking about a potential 30% shortfall. Uranium is the same story. The World Nuclear Association projects reactor uranium demand will grow by 28% by 2030 and then more than double by 2040. This could lead to a significant supply gap. And we're already seeing this play out in ETFs. URNM and Atom, both in uranium, have been amongst the top performers, and GMTL and XMET, critical metals, are all showing strength. This is phase 2, and we're right in the middle of it. Now, I track all these ETFs weekly in my newsletter, highlighting breakouts, trends, and what to avoid with specific ETF picks for the Australian market. Get the full analysis in the description. Next is phase 3, and this is where you want to focus for the future. Phase 3 is soft commodities. That's agriculture, food, it's global energy, and it's eventually oil. Now, we're not quite there yet, but the signs are starting to show. Food, that's the agriculture ETF. It's starting to base, it's doing the work. Fuel, global energy, same thing, starting to show signs of life. OOO, that's oil. It's been slow, but it's starting to move now. Natural gas, that's also been bottoming. We don't have a natural gas ETF in Australia, but click subscribe and you'll be the first to know. And this all makes sense when you look at history. In the 1970s, the last time we had this kind of macro environment with inflation, currency debasement, and geopolitical tensions, commodities massively outperformed. Gold was up 2,300%. From 1970 to 1980, silver up 2,400%, oil was up 1,100%, uranium up over 600%. Meanwhile, the S&P 500 was up 47% nominally, but down 30% in real terms after inflation. Hard assets crushed paper assets. Now, I'm not saying we're going to see those exact same returns, but the setup is eerily similar. High inflation, currency concerns, geopolitical fractures, underinvestment in commodity production. All the ingredients are there. So the question becomes, how do you actually play this as an Australian investor? Part 3, the Australian ETF playbook. So now you understand the macro and the 3-phase rotation. Now you need to know what to actually buy, because you can't just go out and buy uranium mines in Kazakhstan or copper projects in Chile. But you can use Australian listed ETFs to get exposure to these global commodity trends right here on the ASX. Now, I'm not going to give you my exact model portfolio. That's what my newsletter is for. But I'll give you the framework so you understand how to think about this. Right now, we're in phase 2, industrial and energy transition metals. So the ETFs you want to be looking at are things like wire, that's copper miners. Copper is absolutely critical to electrification. This ETF gives you exposure to the global copper producers. Atom, clean energy. This is in our model portfolio. It's got exposure to uranium, solar, wind battery technology. It's benefiting from the energy transition theme. URNM, it's a pure uranium play. If you believe nuclear is coming back, and I do, this is how you play it in Australia. XMET, energy transition metals. This is also in our model portfolio. It gives you exposure to lithium, nickel, cobalt, rare earths, all the metals needed for batteries and EVs. Now, if you want to position for phase 3, which is coming, but not quite here yet, you'd be looking at food, which is soft commodities, agriculture, grains, livestock. This is starting to base. Not quite ready to break out, but it's doing the work. You've got fuel, a global energy producer ETF. Broader energy exposure beyond just oil. This is also starting to show signs of life. And you've got OOO, which is oil. This has been a real laggard, but it's starting to move. And if we get a supply shock or a geopolitical event, oil can move quickly. CLNE, clean energy, we've got this in the model portfolio, and it's somewhat linked to Atom, but with different holdings. Now here's the critical part. Timing matters. You don't want to buy an ETF just because it's in the right sector. You want to buy it when it's breaking out of a base and starting to trend. Stocks and ETFs don't just go up and down randomly. They move in what I call a base and trend pattern. They'll sit in a base for months or even years doing nothing. Then something changes and they break out into a trend. And that's exactly when you want to own them. Look at HGen, which is a hydrogen ETF. That's actually one of the top performing ETFs over the past year. It sat in a base for a long time, then broke out and ripped. Same with wire, copper miners, base, then trend. You want to buy the breakout, not the base. So it's not a buy and forget strategy. Commodities are volatile. They can move fast in both directions. You need to manage your position sizes. You need to have stop losses, and you need to be watching the charts to see if the trend is still intact. Timing matters here. This is why in my newsletter, I track all of these ETFs every single week. I show you exactly which ones are bases, which ones are trending, and which ones are breaking down. The link's in the description below. And right now, get 20% off yearly subscriptions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And as always, don't forget to follow the trend.